You're watching Morning at NTV, and it's been such a heated conversation. Sexual abuse and sexual harassment. One topic I'm sure we'll be doing for a whole year because you cannot finish this. First of all, just to give you a background, if you've been following the hashtag #MeToo, is that all over the world, people are more vocal now, especially women. They're coming out to say, this has happened to me. This is my experience. This is my story. And because of that, I am not letting anyone who's coming in the same industry, in the same place, get affected by it. And it started in Hollywood, where actresses came out to say, the only reason I was on that film, the only reason I was on that set is because the director asked for something, the producer asked for something. Sometimes it happened, sometimes it didn't. And then retribution, because those who actually spoke out against it were either, you know, taken off work, their careers died. And that's Hollywood, but you're thinking, that's far from me. It happens even here. And I remember the first time, I actually do have Mala joining me today because I thought we would chit-chat as ladies. And also Chamagero, who's on standby, who's in Owino. And we were showing that when that came out, the hashtag #MeToo, Ugandans shared their own story. Ugandans were on Twitter saying, this has happened in my workplace. My boss has harassed me. When I said no, eventually demoted, salary cut,
or fired,
suspended for this. You know, it's a trickle slowly, and before you know it, you're fired.
Correct.
And then someone is telling you that someone in my own home, you know, like our guest was saying, a family member has said something to me and I thought, well, it was inappropriate.
Correct.
But I let it slide. 3 days later, 4 days later, it happened. And I'm thinking, this is uncle, mommy's brother.
Yes.
How am I going to tell mommy?
Yes.
Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
So there's a fear of it because there's no retribution. There's no cases that they're seeing that, you know, people are coming out and saying this has happened. But I think for me, what scared me the most when it happened in schools, when the headmasters were being taken up and people were saying, this has been happening for 20 years. And you're thinking, in 20 years,
you can imagine,
no one had the courage to say
speak up.
something.
Yes.
The parents knew it, and no parent said, fine, if my daughter was raped,
yes,
let me speak up. I might, you know, save my last daughter
Correct.
or this one's
Correct.
daughter. So I think that for me was what was on my mind this morning.
Correct. Speaking of children and schools, and Irene Ovonji clearly said that, you know what, it starts in parenting.
Yes.
And she was like, I asked her, then what's the right age to start having these conversations about, you know, sexuality, sex education with your children? And she was like, as soon as they can talk. My son is 2 years old. Yes.
But at 2, he understands.
He understands. So I was like, at 2 years old, and she was like, yes, there's, you know, a conversation that you can draft with him and he'll actually understand. Like, don't allow anyone to touch you there, and show him where there is when, you know what, and when you're not bathing. And these are the people who can actually touch you there. And they should only touch you there. Number one, maybe when they're changing your diaper. Number two, maybe when you're from potty and you had the other type of call. Number three, whether they're bathing you. You know, start having these conversations with your children so they know that, you know what, this thing is not correct and this thing is okay. This is what I cannot let pass and this is what I can let pass. And also making them comfortable to know that, you know what, if something happens, I can actually report to mommy, because there's that, you know, rapport that you build with your children.
Yeah.
Let
me tell you my biggest concern as we talk about, you know, sexual harassment. Yes, it's the people who actually harass you. And this could be women, this could be men. Because yes, women do sexually harass men, as Chamagir also shared. I think for us women, it's the fact that other women have accepted some behaviors, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's at home. And because they've accepted some behaviors, it trickles down to you as well. I'll give you an example, and I had shared with Mala and Chamagiro, where a certain person I was supposed to be working for, I was recommended by a certain, you know, fellow colleague in the industry, and said, oh, this lady Flavia can MC, get her. And the man was very abusive, you know, he was putting comments, I'd like to get this in return for this job or this service. And when I said no, he said, but why are you refusing when your other colleagues allowed it? So I think sometimes, depending on whatever circumstance, if women say no more often, then the next woman, you know, will have a better stand at saying no to this man. Because
and also having each other's back.
Yes, because if someone makes a comment and says, how come Mala has said no when Flavia said yes?
Yes.
automatically your power is gone.
Yes.
Because they've shown you that you're standing alone, whereas many women are standing together on this. So as women, I think we need to say no more often. Say no to everything. We've talked about boundaries.
Yes.
We've talked about someone at work making a comment about your breasts or making a comment about your backside.
Correct.
And you take it.
Yeah.
So if you take it, that means the next person or our colleague should actually, you know, take it as well. So let's just be careful about that and unmindful. Of course, this is Morning at NTV. Our hashtag is Morning at NTV. We do have our colleague, Andrew Chamagero, who is in Owino. I'm not quite sure if he's decided to sit for breakfast and forget about us before we close the show. Gondi.
Just so you know, we just had a very good good meal here this early morning, courtesy of Mama Abudu and Namato Katunda by Namato Katunda Keko. When we come to the idea of sexual assault, it's real. I told you I was just assaulted last weekend. So these are issues we need to address in real time as they are happening and how best we can actually mitigate. As men, I think we need to stand tall. And the way we address it, we should not be shy about it. If someone looks at my fly and is like, oh, didn't work, I'm like, that is wrong.
Also, now you finally tell the story. That's actually very sad.
Pardon me?
Now you finally told the story.
The thing is, women have taken a different way, the way they talk about it. And the body language, the speech, the choice of words people use, it's all asshole. You cannot just look at me and you're like, hey, you know, these are things we need to change.
Yes, Andrew Chamagero. Actually, someone has...
And you two are laughing about this.
No. How dare we? How dare we? But
I thought you're laughing at me.
No. Andrew, I was sharing that in our industry, especially entertainment, whether you're an actress, whether you're a musician, there's a thin line between what you do as art. And I think musicians like Winnie Nwagi, Shiba have complained about it and said, when I'm on stage and I'm wearing shorts, it does not represent Shiba off the stage. So people tend to make certain comments about her off the stage that, you know, don't necessarily represent her. And I was saying that in our art, do we forget, maybe should we be dressing differently in our art? Or maybe that's how art is. We should have,
people should not dictate the way we are going to dress and the way we are going to appear in public. But I think it all starts from the mindset. If the mindset is corrupted, however much you're going to, even if you wear something, I've seen some guys who say, "Chara chambala hijab," you can tell the mindset is corrupted. So it all starts from the mindset. How do you look at your opposite sex colleagues? How do you look at your friends? How do you look at, like, if we can change and we tweak that mindset and it goes to a level where we respect people for what they actually have to offer, regardless of their background, but you don't look at them as sex machines.
I do agree with you,
Even as
Andrew.
men, we suffer.
You do suffer. In studio, I actually have someone who can make probably one final comment before we wind up. She's an actress, she's a publicist, she's a radio host, Cleopatra Koheirwe. You have been an artist singing, dancing, and you were in obsessions where people thought, the shorts are a bit tight, the dresses are tight, and you've evolved definitely. I'm sure people approach you differently from when they approached you then. And we'll talk about sexuality and saying that, do people treat us a certain way based on how we dress, how we speak, how we act? Because you're in the arts industry, your art calls for you to dress a certain way. Do people misunderstand that and take the assault, you know, or abuse based on that?
Yes, I would say it also I would agree a bit with Andrew, because it also goes to the man's personality or the men in this category. Because some people, while I was in Obsessions, I would like to also clarify that they never used to approach us we were not approachable. We'd perform on stage and would immediately leave. And if we're still around, we'd like wear our jackets. If we're wearing, you know, the shorts, we would wear like long jackets. So we always had a way of covering up while in the public so that we can be safe. And the boys used to protect us, you know. So even now, I could be dressed like this in trousers and all, and still a man will look at you and say, Oliachi. And it always baffles me, because no matter how smart you are, no matter how dignified you look, any man be it a boda man, be it a guy who's selling binyewa, be it a man in his Prado, whatever.
It's their character.
Any man
They'll just
will
make a
comment.
Yeah.
Yes. And you'll be like, what was I? Did I have a tag saying,
yes,
you know, say something nasty or say something sexual? So I think it's just the way most men are, but the ones who have the ability to know that, you know what, I have to have this limit and show some respect, do that.
As we wind up, I'd like to, because I think we've spoken so much about it, I've been very vocal about how us women don't support each other sometimes. When we come out, you know, I don't get Cleo's push of, you know what, I'll stand with you. But we've made comments about men as well. Your integrity, you as a man, you have the right to not cross certain lines.
Yes.
So what then is the solution? Is it how we train and talk to our boys? Is it how we talk to men, or should we start them young? Is the conversation now, should it switch from telling women how to dress? Should it switch to men?
It shouldn't even be about telling women how to dress. It should be, yes, there should be a balance for both men and women. And I would agree that if we can also start with molding the young boys, our kids, if I ever have a son, because I have a daughter right now, I will always tell that boy to respect a woman. Because if it's not put in them at the early stages, because those are the formative years, there is no way they're going to be able to do it later on when they're grown up, unless they get it in school.
Definitely.
But it starts from home.
Okay, so the conversation should also be driven to our young boys, our men, to say that as much as we're going to drum it into us women to say cover up, or dress this way, or don't speak this way, or don't cross this line, who's telling the men? Who's telling them? Who's also protecting them? Because we've agreed that this is also two-sided. Men do get sexually abused and sexually assaulted. Also tell them, speak to them, and also train the women. Morning at NTV would like to close. Mala, do come. And if we can get Chamagero as well, we don't want to say goodbye without you. He's been in Owino, enjoying his breakfast and talking to the women. And they've shared some great insights. The conversation doesn't have to stop here. We're using the hashtag Morning at NTV. Get this conversation rolling. In fact, if you want to have an opinion here in studio, we can always get you to join us. Andrew, are you with us? Oh, great.
Oh, yes. I'm with you guys.
Your parting shot as we say goodbye. Emere. Eh? You've already started breakfast without us.
One thing I can tell you for sure is that I have learned a lot of things, the conversation we've had here, but I've learned more when it comes to what we need to address. From the lady Asia, when she was talking what needs to be addressed, how we're going to address it. And for me, I'm saying as parents, we need to address this issue when it's still early. Because it starts like an assault, then it gets into a habit, and before you know, someone is infected. So from me, before I want to, Mama Asia,
my message to parents is let us be real parents. Let us be role models to our children, and let us spend more time talking to our children. In Kalangala, parents spend more time fishing and drinking alcohol. And in their drunkard state, they end up abusing their own children.
Now you're in the direct field with this
Thank
kind
you
of
so
much.
You can reach us on Facebook, People in Need Agency, or you can contact us on 0706 717159.
Okay. All right, cool. That's what you heard from her. It's really...
Morning at NTV is our hashtag. We've got to say bye. We're out of time. But of course, we're back tomorrow morning from 7 a.m. Until then, God bless you.